5-Minute Murder. I am going to pick a card here. I am actually off this weekend, which is kind of nice. I'm in town. I just got finished up putting together some shadow boxes because at my last show, we were almost like sold out of all the big ones, and we're running low. So I had to restock and make some new ones, and I did about 32 shadow boxes yesterday. And so those are all ready to go. So when I am in Nashville, here, not this weekend, but the following weekend, come and pick up your shadow boxes. We are also less than a month away from Beyond the Headlines, True Crimes, Myths, and Legends to be released. It is going to be released on July 2nd, 2 days before my birthday. So, yeah, hopefully we will have a fantastic birthday present for me, and all of you guys will go and buy it. That'd be great. So that would be really good. So, all right, let's pick a card and we'll get moving here. And let's see who we get. Oh, here we go. One more time here. I don't know if I want to. You guys want another mobster? We've done a bunch of mobsters lately. We'll see who we get. Oh, okay. Here we go. There's old David Koresh of the Branch Davidians. All right. So David Koresh was born Vernon Wayne Howe on August 17th, 1957. He died on April 19th, 1993. He was a cult leader who played a central role in the Waco siege of 1993. As the head of the Branch Davidian sect, an offshoot of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Koresh claimed to be its final prophet. He was alleged to have been in multiple incidences of physical and sexual abuse of children. His doctrine of the House of David did lead to marriages with both married and single women in the Branch Davidians. The Waco siege began on February 28, 1993, when the ATF raided Mount Carmel Center. The ensuing gun battle resulted in the deaths of 4 ATF agents and 6 Branch Davidians. So, David Koresh only got added to the game through our promo pack. I added him in there because a lot of people asked for him. He was originally slated to be in the Cults expansion, and then I decided to take him out of the Cults expansion. I was at a convention. I was actually at Dark History Con the first year I was there, and David, I can't think of his last name now. Anyway, another David who was also in the Waco compound with David Koresh and was a friend of his. They had met, I believe, if I remember the story correctly, they met at a bar. They were both musicians, and David Thibodeau is his name. And so David Thibodeau was like one of David Koresh's right-hand people in the Branch Davidian sect. And so he was there the day that everything happened. Obviously, he survived. But I got to meet David Thibodeau, and honestly, he changed my mind about the intention of David Koresh and the Branch Davidian and the Waco siege. And I spent a lot of time. I actually have his book over there. He was part of a DVD series. I also have that over there. And just a fascinating story. For all of Koresh's faults and all of the things that he dealt with, you know, they ended up dubbing him the sinful Messiah and all these things. But, you know, regardless of all of his sexual misconduct and things like that, he never intended for his flock to kill people. Like, they were not a killer cult. Yes, they carried guns. Yes, they believed that they should defend themselves. And they did that. When the ATF started firing at them, they returned fire. And then they had a several-day standoff, eventually leading to the compound being burned down and many people dying in that fire. It's interesting because there's lots and lots of theories about how that happened. One of them is that the ATF, when they fired the canisters of tear gas, they also fired some other stuff, and it lit whatever rounds that they had pumped into that building, and that's what ended up catching fire and ending up killing a bunch of people. There's also the theory that the Branch Davidians did it themselves, right? That they burned down the complex because they wanted to, be martyrs, I guess. From what I understand from David Thibodeau, that is not the case. They did not do it themselves. They never had any intention. And the people that really ended up, a lot of them that died were the women and children, because they were trapped in the room inside when they shot off the tear gas and whatever other rounds they used in the building. So, it's a crazy story, because this is on the heels of Ruby Ridge and this really, really strong stance being taken against these small organizations that are, collecting guns and, kind of anti-government. And so the government feels like they have to take a really hard stance and they need to take action. And ultimately, that's what happens at Waco. Instead of them, taking the time to, really work out something and work with them, they kind of got hot-headed and went in with their guns ablazing, and we see the results. And of course, Waco has had far-reaching implications outside of, just the Branch Davidians and the things that happened there. Waco is also the reason that, oh my goodness, why can't I think of his name right now? His face is in my mind. The Oklahoma City bomber. Oh, I cannot think of his name right now. Anyway, he cited Waco being the main reason, like his final straw for him then blowing up, the building in Oklahoma City. So this has had far-reaching implications throughout our, history. And there have been lots of people that have really hung their hat on that. So, it's not just as simple as, this group of people that's a little bit anti-government that wants to do their own thing, and the government is not willing to allow that to happen. And we live in kind of crazy times right now where we're seeing more and more governmental control for whatever the reason, whether it's a pandemic, whatever. And it's interesting that we see a shift in our culture where people are much, much more willing to accept that kind of control in their lives. And then there is the other side that is not willing to accept that. And it's kind of scary, because we live now kind of in a powder keg of some of those same kind of situations happening. And of course, like I said, many people died in the disaster there in Waco. David Koresh being one of them. I believe he was shot on the first or second day, and he ended up, I believe, dying of his wounds later on. That combined with smoke inhalation from the fire. So it's a shame. What Koresh would have done. He's an interesting character, because even people that were well respected within the community would go there and be astounded with David Koresh's ability to recite the Bible and to memorize entire books of the Bible. He was incredibly intelligent, although misguided, and read himself in to all of the messianic prophecies and things when he shouldn't have. But it's interesting when you start talking about Seventh-day Adventists and Mormons, and they have very, very interesting viewpoints on the coming Messiah, or the prophets that are among us. And often we see that causes lots and lots of problems. Within the Mormon community, you have Warren Jeffs, right? And you have many, many others that have, gotten really, really right wing, or, very, very way out there, and have caused lots of problems, whether it's, you know, uh, having sex with all the women, marrying all the women, having children with all the women, and then marrying the children of the women and your own children, and all kinds of craziness. It is fascinating what happens when we read ourselves into that. Well, thank you guys for joining us for another 5-Minute Murder. A little David Koresh today, and the Branch Davidians, the Waco disaster. Join us again next week for another 5-Minute Murder. Look forward to seeing you guys soon.
The number you have dialed is not available at present. Please leave your message after the beep.
Yeah, trendsetter, whoa, league of my.
Without me, I said